Call to order this zoning commission meeting, October 12th, 2022, 6 p.m. at Ascension Parish Courthouse, 607 East Worthy Street, Gonzales, Louisiana. Roll call of our members.
Mark Phillip. Nicholas Miller.
Wade Scheck-Snyder.
Max Nasser.
Randy Fluwine.
Tom Mormon.
Thank you, fellas. Okay, staff introduction, Mr. Maka.
Jamaica Baker, Zoning Secretary.
Jerry Iskiri, IT.
Spencer Long, Parish Attorney.
Jerome Fournier, Director of Planning and Development.
Lance Brock, zoning official.
Derek Poche, Parish Planner.
Thank you all very much. Item 4, the minutes. The acceptance of the minutes of the August 10th, 2022 zoning commission meeting.
Motion.
Motion by Chairman Commissioner Nasser. Second by Commissioner Villa. All in favor? Okay. Any opposed? That motion passes. Item 5, the chairman's comments. Currently, the chairman has no comments. Item 6, we'll have a public hearing to amend the Ascension Parish Development Code for recommendation for the approval or denial to the Ascension Parish Council. And item A, a zoning review, ID PZ 2969.22, part of Germania Plantation for Alan Tommy Knoll, located on the north and south of LA Highway 405, approximately 4,000 feet west of Knoll Road, to amend the Ascension Parish zoning map from medium industrial MI to conservation C to heavy industrial HI, medium industrial MI, and light industrial LI. And we're going to open the public meeting. Mr. Maker, do we have anybody here to speak?
Nobody signed up, but the applicant, I don't know if the applicant.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
Kate MacArthur, who's with our Economic Development District, is here to talk about the project. She's in the back. I'm putting her on the spot, but she told me earlier today that she was here to talk about it. So.
Okay.
All right, good evening.
Good evening.
Evening.
So I thought maybe more of you were familiar with the Riverplex Mega Park, but I was just informed that no, it's not the case. So I'm going to do a quick overview of what it is in relation to this agenda item. So the site that is looking for rezoning is part of an area called the Riverplex Mega Park. It is an industrial overlay district located near the Iberville Parish line that runs almost down to Donaldsonville. It's 17,000 acres in total. We started the process of creating this industrial area in 2013 and had over 40 public meetings to get everyone on board and all of the different bodies and property owners and everybody involved to come up with this vision for creating a future industrial area. So part of that was working on a zoning map so that it could protect what was existing in this area and then plan for what the existing farmland and conservation could be at the highest and best use. So that district has mixed use zoning, light industrial, medium industrial, heavy industrial. So what we've been working on over the last few years, we put an economic development district in place that matched the overlay so we could use that as a financing mechanism for infrastructure development in the future. And then we've had 2 property owners rezone their properties to match the overlay as it is. And so tonight we have a 3rd property owner looking to zone their property to also match the overlay district. So that's kind of the quick overview history of why we're here tonight.
Thank you very much. Do we have any questions from any of the commission?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for coming tonight. I know you've been a frequent flyer of the chambers here lately, so I appreciate you making another trip. It seems like most of this 826 acres is conservation. Are we going to be able to maintain with whatever future development is in there is going to be able to help with the mitigation of the traffic issues that we already have, air quality and water quality for this?
Yes, so the landowner is currently, it's being used for farming. So even though the zoning is being requested, the usage of the land doesn't change until they actually comes a time when they sell it for that usage to change. And so at that point, if it is a medium industry or heavy industry user that comes in, they would come back, not for the zoning, but when they go through their process of their incentives and talk about their project and what their ESG goals are and how they're going to work with the local community on that. So although it doesn't come back to planning and zoning, it still goes through the council process. And additionally, we are working on putting in an access road that would be able to access actually this site as part of it in the future to go to the back of it so that we can alleviate traffic on Highway 405 that may impair the existing residents as this whole area builds out into the future. So we are trying to make progress leading up to the point so that there isn't any real hurdles when we get to the point that there is a usage change. We want to make sure we're taking the steps now to alleviate any potential headaches in the future.
Okay. And I would imagine that Central Farmers, or whoever may purchase this area, would be interested in helping the residents in that area if they're going to be inside that buffer zone to relocate them and get them reset up or whatever it may be.
Right. We want to make sure that they're a good fit with the community and that they're interested in being a community partner and not just there for the wrong reason.
Yeah, I would imagine the AEDC is here not because we're recropping a sugarcane field.
Yep.
It's obviously something. Yeah, that would be one of my questions is under that G of the overlay code there, is it the use determines how much of a buffer was going to be needed going forward? Are we going to be able to get that use and tell us what's going on so we can put the right buffers in?
So the nice thing
zones
about
in
the
place?
overlay is it kind of had the buffers already in it. So that was the point of putting the steps between mixed to light to medium to heavy, because otherwise, what we learned on the east side is that they weren't there. And so by doing it ahead of time and matching that, we prevent any heavy being right next to something that's in mixed use. So it kind of gives at least, I think it was 860 to each zoning, 860 feet between each zoning. So if you were going from a mixed use to a heavy, you're looking at over 2,000 feet spaced out. And then obviously we can always request things like trees, bushes, whatever could help depending on what that usage is at that time.
Okay, so we've dotted our i's and crossed our t's on this one for sure then.
Yeah, we want to do this one right. So the whole point of creating this whole thing is to make it right as much as we can to make it a better industrial area than anything we've ever had before.
Wonderful. Thank you again for coming by. We'll,
Chairman.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Ms. McCarthy, did I hear you mention ESG goals?
Yes.
Okay.
So those.
So could you, I know what it is, could you provide us some information on what their goals are and what steps they're planning to take to reach those goals?
Sure. So there is no user at this time. So this is really, the rezone request is just to make it more marketable for a user to expedite a process for location. But there's no company that is actively engaged in site selection on this site at the moment. So we don't have anyone in particular, but what we will be focused on when we do have a prospect there is so when they come through for all of their tax exemptions and everything that goes into the community meetings, they're going to have that ESG that's going to have to be reported on.
Yeah, and in the event that some of the commissioners or public may not know, the ESG is going to dictate at a certain level how attractive the property is to investment firms. So that's very important. I'm glad to hear it's being considered. I have been following this project for 6 or 7 years. I haven't participated in the conversations, but I've been following it because of some other interest. And I think this is an excellent move for us, and I'd like to make a motion we approve.
Okay. We have a motion, but first, do we have any other commissioners who'd like to speak? I'm going to hold off on the motion if you just mind. I want to say a few comments, and Ms. MacArthur, I'm very happy to finally see this kind of come to fruition and see some movement on this. This overlay project is something that, going back into the early 2000s, we had various other council who some commissioners are related to, who did a lot of work on this. And so this is finally nice to see this moving forward. This type of zoning request is consistent with our master plan. A few years ago, whenever this commission worked on having the master plan, we knew that this was going to be a possibility with this overlay zone, and we planned for this. And so finally to see this happening, this is such a great move, and this can only help the west side and Ascension Parish in general. So bring it back to Mr. Nasser. Do we have a second for his motion?
Second.
Okay. Mr. Miller beat you to it, but, so we have a motion to recommend approval to the council for this zoning change request. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Do we have any opposition? That motion passes. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Item 7, we have a staff report.
No report.
No report. Item 8,
Motion.
motion to adjourn. Second. Thank y'all so much.